Okay, something a bit different for this afternoon. It is the end of Easter. There might be some arguments about if what chocolates are left over. And look, you could count it by hand, but let's do something different and let's use a deep learning model to count for us. So we can say these are the chocolates we've got left over, and we reckon there's 36 left. Let's have a look at how we're going to do this. So the way we're going to do this is we're actually going to use Cellpose rather than do it by hand. Now, Cellpose works a lot better if we give it a rough estimate of the expected cell size, chocolates will be. So let's pull up the image viewer and have a look at it. I've already got the image viewer open. We can zoom in and have a look, and it's pretty simple to measure out those distances. Let's have a look at some rough ideas of those chocolates, what they're going to be to look at. And they're in the 190, 200, 210 sort of a range. So we'll just keep that at the back of our minds for when we go back to the code. From there, it's pretty easy. We load up our image. It does work better if we are down in grayscale. So we do a quick conversion of that image down into grayscale. Now, this is the two commands that do the bulk of the work. We are pulling up a Cellpose model, and there's a number of Cellpose models. I've just started with the Cyto2 model to get started with. You can tune and have a play with them as you like. And here's where we put in a rough estimate of what those cell diameters are going to be. So we said it was sort of 190 to 200 cells. Let's give it an estimate of 200 odd pixels. And we pass the image into that Cellpose model to push it through. Now, it does do a pretty good job, but let's pull up these figures and have a look at them. Where it falls down is when we start to go to counting, and we have to have joined dumbbell type figures. So you can see some of the cells in the middle here, the masks are actually joined together, so it's not separating them correctly. Well, fortunately, there's well-established numerical techniques for separating those. So we're using a watershed bounded distance model in this case, and we can see that the distance calculations bounded from the center of the circle and looking for the connected regions are matching up quite well. And then we can suppress to get some of the noise out of it, and we end up with the labels as we're seeing here. It's probably not perfect. I don't think it's really separated out these chocolates and these chocolates. We can go in and tune that model a bit further to get further into those details. And as we see, just as a sanity check, I'm dumping out a plot of what the distribution of the cells are, and we can see that they're pretty close to where we would expect. These are quite a uniform model. So if we jump back to MATLAB and go and have a look at that final figure again, that's a really quick and dirty way of using a deep learning network to calculate and estimate the chocolate counts that you've got left over from Easter.